We're here on the roof of a restaurant in downtown DC. This restaurant has put in some rooftop gardens, which they've recently planted. And we had a swarm here about 4 weeks ago that went into this ventilation area. And we have been trying to encourage those bees to enter this particular nucleus colony that we have that someone suggested if we put a frame of open brood in there, they would be attracted to it. So we're going to go in here and see how well this colony is doing and remove it. Alright, let's see what we have here. It's obviously some comb on the... Holy shit. So as you can see, we've got a pretty darn active colony here. I'm going to go and see if we can, after I scrape off some of this comb, see if we got any brood in here. So here's a nice big active frame of brood on something in there. So we're cooking with gas on this one. I'm going to seal this puppy up and put it on one of our outyards. As after hiving that or sealing up that nuke, we then went and inspected the hive that swarm had come from, which was also on the roof, and we were able to harvest some honey. What we did essentially is just scrape off the frames right on the roof into a bucket, this white bucket, and then we are doing crush and strain. So what I've done is I have a Home Depot bucket into which I've drilled, you can't see, but many 1/4-inch holes in the bottom, so it acts like a primary colander or sieve. And then I've set it on 2 top bars over a big pot, and you can see it's slowly dripping through. And with the crush and strain, basically I just took all that comb with the honey in it into this white bucket and then used my hands to release it all by just crushing it with my clean hands. That is now slowly dripping into this bucket, which looks like a gooey mess, but after a few hours most of the honey will have drained out of this and we'll be left with some comb. Just a very simple way of simply collecting the honey, especially from an area that is not terribly accessible, and we just are able to pull the honey right on the roof rather than pull the whole super down and use an extractor. So in about 4 or 5 hours we should be able to have some pretty clear honey that we will then strain one more time through a finer sieve. So we've let this crush and strain drain all day, and we're just left with flakes of wax, and for sure there is some honey in there still, and this is not as effective a way of extracting honey as an extractor would be, although I would imagine some folks would take issue with that. Some folks who do the top bar hives. But anyway, we got a lot of the honey out, and then what we're going to do is we're going to strain this a second time through a finer sieve, and we're going to take this wax and lay it out on a sheet pan up around the other hives, and the bees will pick it clean, so any honey that's left in here will be recycled and we'll get to extract it some other day. So Maddie, put your finger on the spot where the level of the honey is in that bucket. Okay, so that's a 5-gallon bucket. That is 10 medium frames worth of crush and strain honey. So I'm going to guess, based on the 5-gallon size, that we're in the 1.5 gallons. But Maddie, how much did it weigh when we weighed it?
18?
Yeah, 18 pounds. So 18 pounds of honey from one medium of DC grade A honey. Well, our version of grade A. Another busy day for the DC Honeybees family. We are actually at Old City Greens, which is a garden center over in Shaw. And we put a hive in here recently. Well, not recently, last year. And it swarmed a couple of times, which is nice. And we've kept those swarms for Frank, the proprietor, to put in other hives. But in the meantime, we are here to do some extraction, some crush and strain extraction of his honey supers. It's surprising, this hive, which is generally one of the stronger we've dealt with, it's a little quiet today, but we'll see how it looks when we open it up. Okay, we moved the honey super over here to work on it. The bees got a little angry when I pulled this super off, and we're dealing with the aftermath now. But I think they're essentially done being angry, so we're going to start taking this honey. All right, Matt, explain what you're doing, or what we did.
Well, now that since we just scraped off all of the stuff from the frames.
Yep.
Now I'm just smushing it all, see if there's any honey, like to get it through the strainer. So
basically, you're just mushing you're collapsing the comb so that the honey drips out.
Yeah.